This time we're going to use the chicken stock. It's just a little bit more robust with the mushroom.
What's wrong with you, Marco Pierwhite? Why do you always have to use a stock? There's no such thing like chicken stock in a mushroom risotto.
With the risotto of wild mushrooms or white truffles. So it's a great, it works very well with chicken.
Yeah, you're telling me that you use white truffle with chicken stock? What's wrong with you?
Again, about 100 mils to start with of chicken stock.
He didn't even make it. Oh, look at that. It's the same brand he always uses.
And what I'm going to do is just give these mushrooms a little bit of a boost. Again, it's optional. It's truffle oil.
Mamma mia, how can I boost the boost? Use real truffle. Truffle oil for me is fake. It's time to react to Marco Pierwhite wild mushroom risotto. Marco Pierwhite is an international famous chef who had lots of Michelin stars. Unfortunately, he disappointed me in many occasions when cooking Italian. Can he make mushroom risotto? Let's find out.
What we're going to do now is a risotto of wild mushrooms. 200 grams of wild mushrooms, 160 rice, 500 mils of stock, bit of water.
I like how relaxed he is. It's like, yeah, we know, we have to feel it. I don't want to be precise with the ingredients. That's good.
Olive oil, eighth of an onion again.
Extra virgin olive oil, yeah? Or even butter you can use.
Again, cook it without colour.
It is important to caramelize the onions because the rice needs the flavors when you cook it, and the onion will release the flavors with the rice.
This time we're going to use the chicken stock. It's just a little bit more robust with the mushrooms.
What's wrong with you, Marco Pierwhite? Why do you always have to use a stock? There's no such thing like chicken stock in a mushroom risotto. Or in a risotto, why do you have to use that? I understand what you're saying, that it makes it rich, whatever, but you don't need to. You have a mushrooms in this, so use different flavors. The chicken stock and the mushrooms have nothing to do with this recipe, okay? In Italy, you do not use chicken stock in the risotto.
Mushrooms, you want that little bit more flavour.
I've eaten so many beautiful risotto in my life, never made with chicken stock, and the flavors are fantastic. So why are you telling me now that the flavors are better with chicken stock?
I used to cook, we used to do a roast guinea fowl or a roast pheasant.
What is that?
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
With the risotto of wild mushrooms or white truffles. So it's a great, it works very well with chicken.
Yeah, you're telling me that you use white truffle with chicken stock? What's wrong with you?
Chicken or with guinea fowl, white game like a pheasant or a partridge does risotto. Want my rice first. Again.
So what he's doing now is actually toasting the rice, which is very important. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to toast the rice, and you want to make sure you stir.
And once again, splash of white wine.
The wine is important. Basically, the rice starts cooking from the moment you add the wine, okay? So you always have to read the instruction on the packet. Let's say it takes 16 minutes for the rice to cook. From this moment, you start counting the time, okay? I normally use half a glass or a glass of wine. He's using Bertolli extra virgin olive oil. Look at that. That's bad extra virgin olive oil. Where does he get his ingredients from? So he's using a nano risotto rice. That's a very good rice. He didn't talk about the rice, but when you make risotto, go for Carnaroli, go for nano. Arborio will be the last resort. Of course, it's good Arborio, but Carnaroli or nano are the best.
Again, about 100 mils to start with of chicken stock.
He didn't even make it. Oh, look at that. It's the same brand he always uses. No, sorry. In this case, use vegetable stock. The vegetable stock will give nice flavors, and it will go well with the mushrooms. The mushrooms flavors is what I want. I don't want to taste chicken. I want the mushrooms flavors in the risotto. It should be a delicate flavor. It's all about balancing the flavors. You also want to be delicate. If you have a delicate palate, you can get Michelin stars. But in this case, when you're overpowering, sorry, there's no stars for you.
What we're going to do here is we're going to prepare these wild mushrooms, which I got from the supermarket. And
Wild mushrooms from the supermarket. Wow, where do you live? It's very hard. I live in Sydney and it's very, very difficult to find wild mushrooms from the supermarket. I can find them at the farmer's market, yes. Supermarket, challenging. Now you should have done this before the rice is ready, by the way, because the rice from now on takes about 14-15 minutes. You need about 10 minutes for the mushrooms, so show us, do it quickly, come on.
I don't chop them too fine because I kind of like the shapes of some of them, but something like that, just chop it into 3 or 4.
I also think he didn't use enough rice because it doesn't look enough, to be honest. It's got more mushrooms than rice, but I would have used definitely more rice. If I make risotto, I use at least 300 grams because I have some leftovers. If I make risotto, I like to use at least 300 grams minimum. Whatever is left is my leftover for tomorrow.
That one into 3. Because what you want to do is when you fry them, you want them all to cook evenly together.
Fry them.
And there seems a lot of mushrooms here, but once they start to cook, they'll shrink down.
Yeah, the mushrooms always shrink.
To release their water.
Yes, they do release water and they help to cook. But of course you need some butter or extra virgin olive oil together with the mushrooms, some salt and pepper. I like to add parsley.
You could use normal mushrooms, but it wouldn't be the same.
I agree. You need wild ones. I prefer porcini.
But if we're honest, in the New Forest, porcinis grow everywhere in the season. October, November time, there's a lot of them around.
Are they growing in UK as well? That's amazing.
Just make sure you pick the right ones.
You must have gone mushrooms hunting before. Sounds like you had a bad experience. I'm joking, Marco.
I'd say, 100 mils. 100 mils again, just slowly, there's no rule.
I like that. I like that you go, you have to feel it. And it's true, you have to feel it. Basically, you want the rice to be slightly covered. Okay, not like swimming, but slightly covered by the liquid, and then you keep stirring.
Just don't put it all in at once, just bit by bit and keep on working it.
That's right, a little bit, bit by bit. Not all at once, but little by little.
So I was saying, what we should try and do is retain the beauty of the mushroom. Don't chop.
I'm a bit worried about these mushrooms. You should be cooking them already, because they take at least 10 minutes to cook.
Well, not just for the sake of chopping them up. And also, if you chop them too small, you lose all the texture.
True.
That may seem like
I like that it's actually keeping the entire mushroom there. I see lots of chefs now showing you that you have to peel the mushrooms and remove the skin. That's bad. I never remove skin from my fruit and vegetables. Like the benefits are in there. You will never see me removing the skin from the mushroom.
tremendous amount of mushrooms, but once they're cooked down, the water will release. You'll see. I'm going to flavour this risotto with a bit of thyme.
Thyme. You need time to cook the mushrooms, but you don't need time in the risotto. It's okay, that's what you like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with thyme in the risotto. I won't ever use it, but there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, you have to now cook the mushrooms on the side. So maybe what I would have done is I would have put the mushrooms in the pan with the thyme and the butter, so the thyme can replace the parsley. Yeah, but I normally use parsley. I think it's more delicate and it balances all the flavors. You want thyme. Thyme is stronger. Now you're already going with chicken stock, which is richer and stronger in flavors. Now you're putting thyme as well. There's no balance, you understand? Like you got mushrooms, which is the king or the queen. Now the mushrooms are the main ingredients, flavors from the mushrooms, okay? Cook with butter, put some parsley, salt and pepper, beautiful flavors. Now, you want thyme? Okay, but remove the chicken. You want chicken stock? It's not okay, but okay, you're using it. Don't do thyme, go for parsley.
A little bit of thyme just at the end, just to give it that little flavour, because thyme and mushroom works very well together.
You already have flavors. You don't need more flavors.
Rosemary would work well, parsley would work well.
Parsley will work well, yeah. Rosemary will work well.
What you've got, I mean, it depends on the time of year. You could use a bit of sage if you wanted, because sage and ceps work very well. You could use thyme, you could use rosemary. Chives go well with mushrooms. Yeah.
Excuse me, this is a risotto. Chive does not go in the mushroom risotto, okay? Excuse me, but do not say that. Go for parsley, you never go wrong, okay? You want to put rosemary? All right, chop it up, cook it with the mushrooms. But to be honest, parsley is the best one to go with mushrooms, okay? That's what I believe. The mushrooms flavors is what I want. I don't want the rosemary or the thyme to take over the mushrooms, especially when you have these beautiful wild mushrooms. If I have boring mushrooms from the supermarket, maybe add more flavors, but not when you have wild mushrooms.
Tarragon goes well with mushrooms. Parsley goes well with mushrooms. I wouldn't use basil, because it's not a natural combination.
That's true, but chive is the same. You say chive, no. You say basil is not good. I agree, basil is not good with mushrooms, but do not put chives.
By stirring it, you're rotating the rice, which allows it to cook evenly. It's absorbing the stock.
There's really not enough rice in there.
It's cooking evenly.
You also need to notice this. He's using a pan that is high, and it's important to do that. Like I did videos when I use lower pan, just because the video looks better when you cook it in a pan that is low, so I can actually show you what's inside. But the best way to cook risotto is to use a higher pan.
I'm going to cook a few mushrooms. Little olive oil.
I can't believe he's using Bertolli. He's got so much money and he bought Bertolli olive oil. It's not even extra virgin, that's olive oil.
If you wanted to go that extra mile, crush some garlic, some finely chopped shallots, sweat them off.
More flavors, more flavors. Yeah, I agree. I put garlic, it's nice with the garlic. You don't have to, but you can have some garlic, but not too much.
In with your mushrooms. It's not necessary, but if you want to go that little bit further, it's your choice.
I agree, it's not necessary. You said it.
I mean, if we're honest, most packets have instructions. You know, 17, 18, 19, 20 minutes. You know, just have a go. It's not difficult. A bit of onion, sweat it off. Once you're confident of making risotto, you can make up your own flavors, your own
100%. That I like when you speak this way. You can be creative. Be creative. Just remember to make sure you balance the flavors, okay? Like chicken stock doesn't go in the risotto. If you like it, okay, but now with the other ingredients, try to balance them, okay? Just don't go crazy. Like I make a nice pumpkin risotto, right? Especially in winter. And pumpkin risotto is basically has pumpkin, salt and pepper. I put some vegetable stock in the pumpkin because the pumpkin is the king. I'm not using a kitchen stock. And then, you know, at the end, when I mix it together with the rice, I add some crispy guanciale that I cook on the side. It's beautiful. You know, that's my take on a beautiful pumpkin risotto. See, I will put butter. I love butter with mushrooms. I just love it.
If you look at the grains now, they're still very white, they're solid. When it's cooked perfectly, what you will see, it has a translucent quality to it, with that little white bead in the middle. Use your packet, which it says on the back, depending on the rice you bought, to be your guide.
Yeah, the packet is never wrong, to be honest. So from the moment you put the wine, you follow the instruction on the packet.
I said everyone's stove's different. You know, it's different.
I truly believe these mushrooms need at least 10 minutes.
And when you think, I took the mushrooms, I chopped them up while I was here, chopped the onion, everything's done within 20 minutes. And I think
it's beautiful, quick, easy dinner, and it tastes delicious. And to be honest, I know risotto with mushrooms might be more of a maybe cold night dinner, but to be honest, I make this in summer too, and I love it.
Great meal once a week to give to the children. As you can see how they've just collapsed. Yeah, the volume's now half.
Yeah, indeed. It does, it's normal.
And it'll go down even more. But by cooking your mushrooms, you're releasing the water. By releasing the water, you're intensifying the flavour of the mushrooms, and that's what you're trying to achieve.
That's right. You get those beautiful flavours on the mushroom. That's the flavour I want to add to the rice. Instead, when you cook with rice, use vegetable stock or use water. Water cooks the rice perfectly.
And by using the North stock, it's straightforward. Okay. And what I'm going to do, just give these mushrooms a little bit of a boost. Again, it's optional. It's truffle oil.
Mamma mia, how can I boost? Use real truffle. Truffle oil for me is fake. Truffle oil, I don't like it. I don't recommend anyone to buy infused oil. Extra virgin olive oil is the pure oil. When it becomes infused, we don't know what people put in there. We don't know. The product changes. It's not virgin anymore, okay? So I try to avoid these flavors, these things. I used to love it. I used to love extra virgin olive oil with flavors, especially with truffle. please don't do that. Like it's got ingredients in there that you don't know what they put in there, okay? So use fresh truffle. If you don't have truffle, don't use it.
I'm not the greatest fan in the world of it, but for the domestic kitchen, I don't think it's a bad thing.
I think it is. So I'm glad you said that. He's not a big fan. Shouldn't do it. Domestic kitchens, why should we do it? You know, I know what you're saying. You want a different experience, but to be honest, you don't need to.
And a little sprig of thyme.
I'm glad he's using thyme with the mushrooms, not in the rice.
Truffle oil is not a bad little thing to have in your cupboard. It just puts that little bit of flavour in the mushrooms.
It does, I agree, and because of that, there's no need for thyme. The parsley would have been better. It does add this beautiful flavour, of course. He's not wrong, he's completely right. It's just I stopped using it. Unless I have the real fresh truffle, unless it's fresh or cream. You can buy mushroom cream now in these days. You can buy it online. It's basically a jar made with mushrooms and truffle together. And that will add nice flavors to your risotto, to your pasta, to your crostini, bruschetta, whatever you want to make, even on pizza.
And we won't put the mushrooms in until the very last minute, because what we don't want to do is boil the mushrooms. As you can see, it's coming together very nicely now. I was brought up by my mother to eat risotto alla dente, but, you know, Mum was Italian, you know, and I do like my risotto alla dente.
Yeah, I'm glad, al dente. So yeah, I'm sure your mom used to make a beautiful risotto because you are making a beautiful risotto. You're adding extra ingredients, but there is nothing wrong with what you're doing. Everything is okay. It's just trying to let you know that you don't need a chicken stock. Vegetable stock will be doing a good job. Keeps it nice and delicate. The thyme is okay, but parsley will be better.
In pasta as al dente, most people would class as completely raw. But the Italians are very different. You know, and again, don't be dictated by a recipe. It's what you like.
Yes, I agree. You don't have to be dictated. I'm not here to tell you, you know, you can do whatever you want. Follow this recipe, I'm sure it tastes nice. I'm just trying to let you understand the process of how you make the risotto, or pasta, or pizza, or whatever. Then it's up to you. You do whatever you want in your kitchen. But, you know, there are some methods that sometimes you follow the method and you want to stick to it because it's good. And why would you change it? And again, with whatever he's doing now, nothing wrong. I can tell that he grew up making risotto for a long time. In the past, he made an Italian tomato sauce, which I reacted to, and that was terrible. And I can tell you, he's never made that at home, because his mom would be very angry with him. I think he made carbonara, it was disgusting. It was terrible, the carbonara he made. So at least today he's doing a good job.
And that's the key of cooking, is cooking for yourself.
Yes.
And I was going to keep half the mushrooms back, purely for presentation.
Yeah, I agree with him. He needs some for presentation. I mean, everybody likes presentation now, including you. You cooked it. You want some presentation. But if you forget to keep some mushrooms on the side, it's not the end of the world.
But I've decided not to. Just let's put them all in.
Bravo, I like it. Good, Marco.
Every ounce of flavour, every drop of flavour, back into the risotto.
Now, you didn't show it, but you add the mushrooms about a minute before the rice is ready, or even when the rice is ready, you add the mushrooms. But I would like to cook it for a minute together with the mushrooms so they combine well together.
Because when I get a risotto of mushrooms, I want lots of mushrooms. I want that texture, I want that flavour of the mushrooms. And again, that butterness gives it that richness, gives it that velvety texture. Okay.
Aspetta, it's off the stove. Now is the time when you add the butter, the Parmigiano Reggiano. Important step, I don't care what you say. Butter and Parmigiano Reggiano go in right now in the pot. Off the stove, butter and Parmigiano. Or Parmigiano and butter, up to you. They go together and that's when you stir. That's when you stir a lot. You even toss the pan if you can. If you don't do that, sorry, you can't call this risotto. Marco Pierre White, you know this. So, butter and Parmigiano in right now.
Again, you can use vegetable stock.
Yeah, you have to use vegetable stock.
I chose to put all the mushrooms into the risotto to get every drop.
Butter and Parmigiano Reggiano, it's an important step. You will know this. Guys, if you're making risotto at home, when the risotto is finished, or the ingredients are there together in the pot, off the stove, you add the butter, melted, and add Parmigiano. At the same time, you put Parmigiano and butter. I normally put about 50 grams, depends. For this amount, I would say 50, 30 grams, like a tablespoon of butter, maybe a little bit more, up to you how much as you want. And pecorino or Parmigiano as much as you want. I use pecorino cheese. Then you mix and mix and mix and it becomes super creamy. The risotto must be super creamy.
Drop of flavour, which is possible, into it. If I was in my restaurant, I'd make a mushroom stock. And that would...
Yeah, see? Mushroom stock. You can buy mushroom stocks from the shop. You can. But I don't recommend it because I want to enjoy the flavors of the mushroom, the fresh mushrooms. I would say I use a little bit of vegetable stock, a little bit of water. So the vegetable stock is not too strong.
be the foundation of it. We haven't got the time to do mushroom stock at home. So we have to make the most of what we've got.
That's right. But we also need to remember to get the best out of the fresh ingredients, in this case the mushrooms. Let's get the best out of them.
And we go down the supermarket, we take the mushrooms that they've got, we get the rice, the stock, which is a very good stock, and we do the best what we can do. Is if you want to start buying porcini mushrooms, then you're going to be paying a fortune for it.
They're expensive, they're amazing. There's a reason why they are expensive. They are amazing, they're wild. You can find them. You can find them dry. I'm not a big fan of dry. You can actually find them frozen now from Italy. The price is not that bad. You can find them online or from people, distributors, like importers in every country. There is Italian importers who bring porcini mushrooms into the country. Maybe you can buy them directly from them. They're frozen. They're very good.
You go to my restaurant in St. James, Luciano, it will cost you £20 for a portion of risotto porcini.
Well, if you make this at your restaurant, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay that much. So, excuse me, there's no butter and Parmigiano. I understand everything else. I can understand your chicken stock. I can understand the time. But Parmigiano and butter? I'm not, sorry. Then I want a discount. Guys, Marco Pierre White did a good job. It's just missing some important details. Probably added too much for my flavoring, but that's okay. At least the technique used was correct. But you can never forget butter and Parmigiano or butter and pecorino, please. You can never forget that. And I don't use butter much, but for risotto, I use butter, and it's a must. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you think. This is, again, nothing against Marco Pierre White. I don't know the guy, I don't know him. Again, I don't know nothing about the chef Marco Pierre White. I don't know the person. I'm judging what he made. And if he's charging me £30 for this, I'm not paying for it, sorry. I want it for free. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next Vincenzo's Plate reaction video. E ora si mangia a proper risotto. Go and watch my video.